The sugar level in wine is a winemaking choice. Hi, I'm Wine Dine Caroline, and today we're going to talk sweet wine. Hey, tell me you're watching, drop sweet in the comments. So, the first thing to understand about sweet wine is that it is not actually something that is attached to specific grapes. The sugar level in wine is a winemaking choice. When we make wine, we start with sweet grape juice. The yeast eats the sugar in the grapes and turns that into alcohol. The winemaker who is making a sweet wine will stop that process, will halt the fermentation in order to keep sugar levels where they want them. This is a choice. You can choose different levels of sugar for your final wine. Dry wine, which is most wine, is when the yeast eats all or most of the sugar and we can't detect it anymore. So most wine is dry wine. If you want to understand dry wine a little bit more, head to this link and you can watch my video on dry wine. Off-dry wine, or sometimes it's called demi-sec in French, is when there is noticeable sugar, but it's not super sweet. It'll be a little bit sweet. Often it's really refreshing. It'll be really nice. Sometimes you find Rieslings like this. Demi-sec Vouvray will be off-dry. Okay, so in terms of sweetness levels, we have dry wine, which we talked about. We have off-dry, which is going to be a little bit sweet. You will notice the sweetness, but it won't be super sweet. Next, we have medium sweet or medium dry. Don't ask, those two things are pretty interchangeable. And that will be noticeably sweet. So there you'll have the level, similar to apple juice kind of vibe. And then finally we have sweet wine, dessert wine. These are really sweet. These are wines that you need to have with dessert. In terms of off-dry wines, you could expect to find some Rieslings in this style, especially from the Mosel. A Cabernet or a Spätlese Riesling might be in this style. Medium dry, medium sweet wines, you can get Demi-sec Vouvray, Moscato d'Asti. Again, there's a big range, so some Vouvrays might be totally dry, some might be medium sweet, some are fully sweet. When we're talking about actual dessert wine, there's actually a lot of different ways to make it. We have fortified wine, like port, where when the winemaker wants to halt the fermentation, they add brandy, and that increases the alcohol, that kills the yeast, and you're left with a wine that still has a lot of sugar. We have wines that are made from grapes that are actually moldy. This is called Botrytis. You see this in parts of the Loire. You see it in Sauternes most famously. That is in Bordeaux and makes a really wonderful golden sweet wine that is just like the nectar of the gods. We also have late harvest grapes. You see this a lot in Alsace, in Germany, where they leave the grapes on the vine and they essentially sort of start to dry and concentrate. Often there is some Botrytis there as well. We have Passito, where they dry grapes on mats in the sun. And the purpose here, and actually in all of these, is to allow the grapes to concentrate so they're losing water and they're getting sweeter, right? And then we have ice wine. Ice wine is wild. Ice wine is super, super late harvest wine that is left on the vine until the first frost, until the first frozen night. And then they pick the grapes in the middle of the night when they're frozen and press them. And what comes out is this super, super concentrated liqueur. And then the water, the ice is left behind. So sweet wine is usually really expensive, dessert wine, because it's labor intensive, because it takes longer to make, and it's made in smaller quantities. If you just want something for daily drinking and you like something a little bit sweet, definitely check out the Rieslings from the Mosel. In Germany, they're unbelievably delicious. Enjoy Moscato d'Asti. That's basically like fizzy unicorn juice. It's so good. If you want to actually get into dessert wines, the finer dessert wines, that is a whole wide world. It's super fun. I really encourage you, if you do go to a restaurant that has a sommelier and they have dessert wine by the glass, try dessert wine paired with dessert, because that's what it's all about. You can also enjoy sweet wines with cheese, snacks. I think that something really salty cheese often pairs well with sweet wine. If you thought this was useful, you can get my free PDF guide to sweet wine with the link in the description. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, click the little bell button in the corner to be notified when my new videos drop, and share the videos, please. Cheers.